a white Virginia council tried to oust a black elected official. It was a plot. Oh my goodness. All right. Put up the picture 4, Mass. This woman, according to Atlanta Black Star, Concetta Manker, former city manager, Hopewell, Virginia, has filed a multi-million-dollar lawsuit demanding a job back after accusing the white council members of racism, wrongful termination as well. Manker is suing white city council members for $6.85 million. Quote, over deliberate acts of racial discrimination and conflicts of interest by the white majority on the council, end quote. That's according to the Progress Index. Ms. Manker, who has a doctorate in applied management and decision sciences, is demanding immediate reinstatement on the grounds that the council violated Robert's Rules of Order, which are your default rules when there's no rule in place, which govern the council's action. Manker made history in 2023 when she became the city's first woman and first black city manager. Before she was officially hired as the city's manager, Manker served as the interim city manager. Applied management and decision sciences, that may sound very managerial. Decision sciences, however, is significantly steeped in equation and trajectory math. I took some of those classes, did not want to take more. So this is an individual who actually deals in cause and effect, social dynamics, as well as population density, et cetera, et cetera. Very smart, can run circles around most city managers. But according to the lawsuit, 2 years later, however, the city made a different kind of history. A historical act of illegal and unlawful behavior, end quote. According to a federal lawsuit, Manker filed against the city and 4 white city council members on May 1st, 2025. Using maneuvers that were blatantly illegal under the governing procedural rules, the city, through its white councilors, unlawfully terminated Dr. Manker as the city manager and did so based on her race. Indeed, the 4-3 termination vote fell strictly along racial lines, end quote. The 5-count lawsuit was filed Thursday in U.S. District Court, Richmond. It names councilors Ronnie Ellis and Susan Day, and Mayor Johnny Parton Jr. and Vice Mayor Rita Joyner. The suit accuses them of violation of liberty interest, defamation and conflict of interest, and terminating Manker on May 1. It also contends Manker was denied due process in challenging her firing, which she has the right to do. The city council initially tried to terminate Dr. Manker during a meeting in the month of February without cause. That's according to her attorney, Richard Hawkins. Hawkins pointed to a section of Robert Rules of Order which governs the council's actions and must be moved either on the same day the original vote was taken or on the next succeeding day when within the same session on which a business meeting is held. He said in the letter reported on by WRIC-TV, since Manker wasn't technically fired until May 1st, there was nearly a 3-month gap which violates Robert Rules of Order, Hawkins said. Quote, no such reconsideration motions, however, were made at either of those times, said Hawkins, referencing the February 12th council meeting when a vote to fire Dr. Manker failed in a 3-3 tie, and another meeting on the 19th, quote, instead, the motion was made almost 3 months later. This delay nullifies the May 1st motion on its face, and it renders the council's subsequent termination vote wholly invalid. The council fired Dr. Manker after a 4-3 council vote along racial lines May 1st, which Dr. Manker called racially motivated. Now, just to say this in layman's terms, when they took the initial vote and there was a proper consideration of notice to reconsider or move to reconsider, that's basically your appellate process, okay? It was a 3-3 tie that goes nowhere. Then they end up firing her without that same due process applied. When they did not apply that due process, citing that they already applied the due process back in May, that constituted a violation. Because they would have had to table that, it naturally is no longer available for option. Robert's Rules of Orders it's a complex interplay of board rules. Sometimes organizations will adopt their own to avoid this complex interplay. But if you have decided to adopt this complex interplay, you have to play by the rules, especially if you're a governing authority, it becomes then statutorily required. So the city council, Manker is separately suing Joyner for defamation. Okay, this is a separate suit for defamation over an email she reportedly sent to a constituent in August 2024. WRIC reported. In that email, she described Dr. Manker as incompetent and claimed that she thwarted Joyner at every twist and turn. Joyner's criticism did not come from a place of good faith. The lawsuit states instead it was part and parcel of her stated beliefs that Dr. Manker did not look like a city manager and, quote, we do not want someone like her running our city. Statements that were interpreted by the listener as racist in nature, okay? The lawsuit also describes an interaction Black City Councilor Dominique Holloway said he had with Joyner. Holloway accused Joyner in that conversation of saying Dr. Manker is blacking up. Now, damn, that's a new one. Blacking up is what she's accused of saying. The city of Hopewell, by hiring black employees. Dr. Manker's attorney, Hawkins, in the previously mentioned letter, called the May 1st vote an obviously improper motion and the kind of abusive circumstance that the timeliness requires is required to protect. And other Hopewell residents agreed, quote, I'll tell you right now, y'all are the four most disgusting individuals in this city. You all need to step down from your positions. One man said after the council vote, WWB-TV reported, he was referring to the white council members who all voted to terminate Dr. Manker. The outburst was met with resounding applause and standing ovation. As council members looked on, police also escorted people out of the emotional meeting. The council upset some people when it rejected a request by another council member to put forth a motion to allow the community to voice its opinions on Dr. Manker's future. Hawkins also said one of the council members, City Battalion Chief Ronnie Ellis, did not have, quote, legal standing to make the motion to fire Dr. Manker. Not only did Ellis not cast a vote in February, but his vote in May is considered a conflict of interest because he serves as both the city councilor and the fire chief at the same time. That means effectively she's his boss. Okay, that's the conflict. At one point, he was both Manker's superior and her subordinate. Respectively, Dr. Manker contends in her lawsuit that he should have recused himself from the vote. She's also accusing Ellis of using a racist dog whistle like secret code, and that doesn't seem racist, but does have another meaning in his campaign for Hopewell City Council, in which he allegedly targeted Manker. In an interview in 2023, before Dr. Manker was appointed to city manager, Ellis said Hopewell shouldn't micromanage his city managers and instead allowed them to run the city and oversee city staff, WRIC reported. On the other hand, for the 2024 election, when Dr. Manker was serving as the full-time city manager for the city, Ellis made no such hands-off remarks about the city manager. The lawsuit says instead he distributed a campaign flyer that contained a racist dog whistle phrase, quote, we need to take our city back. We need to make America great again. Hopewell City Attorney Anthony Bassett warned the city council not to vote on terminating Manker on May 1st. Don't do it. Don't do it. Anthony, you did your damn job, sir. I got to give it to Anthony Bassett. Whoever the hell you are, sir, you good with me. I know you still work for them, but you did your job. You told them don't take the vote. They did. They ignored you. Hopewell City Attorney Anthony Bassett warned the city council not to take the vote terminating Dr. Manker May 1st, but they ignored his advice while the city council majority's use of torture procedural gymnastics to terminate Dr. Manker was by itself illegal. It also revealed the true motive for the vote, racism, according to the lawsuit. The 4-3 vote along racial lines was no accident. It was a direct result of racial enmity against Dr. Manker. And this racial enmity had been brewing since the very beginning of her tenure and even before. And it was the inevitable outcome, given the racist attitudes of one or more white members of the council majority. Now let's keep those pictures up. So it really doesn't take much when a person is the first, especially in a culture like this, to disrupt things. She's a black female, so she's the first black person and the first female to run that post. The city manager of a small city is the most powerful person in that city. It is not the mayor. It is a shared governmental agency, given council and mayor, they have shared responsibilities, but the mayor is not an executive mayor. So the person in charge of the police department, the fire department, and everything else is in fact the city manager, the full-time employee. Now, what if that city manager gets a call about Billy Bob having a DUI, but Billy Bob is also on the commission for policing, or whatever it may be? Well, they would like this city manager to fix that, okay? But this city manager doesn't roll that way. Professional to the utmost. Small things like that, small cracks in the culture, can lead to these overwhelming and overreaching consequences that no one in the community seems to understand. And nobody is truly articulating, because here's what never came up: job performance. Because it's not part of the decision matrix, that's why. Okay, all right. Tehran, thoughts here, brother?
Well, this is another, to be fair, situation. This happened in Virginia. I'm very familiar with Virginia. Virginia being racist is nothing new. Capital of the Confederacy, there's a city named Lynchburg right next to Blacksburg. Let's get that out of the way. Now, in the case of Dr. Manker suing for $6.85 million, I do not agree that she's entitled to that money. I think she's entitled to much more because of what they have been putting her and the entire community through. This is a person who has a doctorate of applied management and decision sciences. This is a person who is educated, knowledgeable, professional. When they said that she doesn't look like she should be fit for this position, I was expecting a Gucci man or Sexy Red, even though even in that situation with her pedigree, they, despite how they look, would be fit for this job.
Yeah.
You want racial profiling? I'll give you racial profiling. Joyner and that entire crew, they all look racist. As soon as we saw her picture, we were like, yeah, we know which one she voted for. We know which way she's voting against. We knew her. We've seen her. In fact, I'm waiting for her to be on an episode of Wish a Karen Would. That's gonna happen any moment, any day. So, Ms. Manker, thank you so much for standing up for all of us and doing what all of us wish we could do. I cannot wait until you win.
That's right. Well said, brother. All right, we'll bring updates as they come.